There's a Subaru modification that's about to become illegal. Not just in one state, not just in California. We're talking federal legislation that will ban this modification nationwide within 6 months. And once this law passes, you'll never be able to do this modification again. Not on your current Subaru, not on any future Subaru. It'll be illegal to sell the parts, illegal to install them, and illegal to drive with them installed. This isn't some cosmetic modification. This isn't about tinted windows or loud exhaust that states regulate differently. This is a modification that dramatically improves your Subaru's performance, reliability, and longevity. A modification that thousands of Subaru owners swear by. A modification that can add 50,000 to 100,000 miles to your engine's life. But Congress is about to make it illegal, and automotive manufacturers are pushing hard for this ban because it threatens their profits. You have 6 months, maybe less. After that, the window closes forever. I'm going to tell you exactly what this modification is, why it's being banned, how to do it before the deadline, and why you need to act now before it's too late. Whether you drive a WRX, STI, Forester, Outback, or any turbocharged Subaru, this information is critical. You need to know about this modification, and you need to decide right now if you're going to do it before the government makes it impossible. Let's get into it. The modification, catalytic converter delete. Here it is. The modification that's about to become federally illegal, catalytic converter delete. Specifically, removing your catalytic converter and replacing it with a high-flow test pipe or straight pipe. Now, before you click away thinking, that's already illegal, hear me out, because what's changing is massive. Right now, catalytic converter deletes exist in a legal gray area. They're illegal for street use under EPA regulations, but legal for off-road and racing use. Enforcement has been minimal. States handle their own emissions testing. Parts manufacturers can legally sell off-road use only test pipes and high-flow cats. Shops can legally install them if the customer signs a waiver, but that's all about to change. What's changing? The SEMA ban. The new federal legislation being pushed through Congress will make it a federal crime to manufacture, sell, or install any part designed to bypass emissions equipment, impose massive fines on shops that install these parts, $10,000 plus per violation, make it illegal to drive any vehicle with tampered emissions equipment on public roads, even in states without emissions testing, require annual federal emissions inspections that check for OBD2, tampering and missing catalytic converters. Give the EPA enforcement authority with real teeth, including vehicle impoundment and criminal penalties. The bill is currently in committee and has strong bipartisan support. Automotive manufacturers are lobbying hard for it. Environmental groups are pushing it. And most importantly, it has the votes to pass. Industry insiders give it 6 months before it becomes law, maybe less. Once this passes, the window closes forever. You won't be able to buy the parts. Shops won't touch your car. And if you're caught driving with a deleted cat, you could face thousands in fines and even vehicle impoundment. Why this modification matters for Subaru owners? You might be thinking, why would I want to delete my catalytic converter anyway? For most cars, there's not much benefit, but for turbocharged Subarus, catalytic converter deletes offer massive improvements, performance gains. Removing the restrictive stock catalytic converter on a WRX or STI reduces back pressure dramatically. You gain 15 to 25 horsepower at the wheels. Turbo spools faster, throttle response improves, the car feels significantly quicker. On modified Subarus with upgraded turbos, the gains are even larger, 30 to 40 plus horsepower in some cases. Engine longevity. This is the big one that most people don't understand. Stock catalytic converters on turbocharged Subarus can break down internally. The honeycomb substrate deteriorates, especially on high-mileage cars or cars that see boost regularly. When the cat breaks down, pieces of the substrate get sucked back into the engine. This causes catastrophic damage, scored cylinders, damaged pistons, destroyed turbos. A $200 test pipe prevents a $5,000 to $8,000 engine replacement. I've personally seen 3 WRX destroyed by failed catalytic converters. In each case, the owner had no idea anything was wrong until the engine started making horrible noises. By then, metal fragments from the deteriorated cat had circulated through the turbo and into the cylinders. Total engine rebuilds, all preventable with a simple cat delete, preventing the infamous cat failure. Subaru WRX and STI owners know about catalytic converter failure. It's a common issue on 2008 to 2014 models especially. The cat breaks down, engine performance drops, check engine lights come on. Then the broken cat material gets pulled into the turbo or engine and destroys everything. Deleting the cat eliminates this failure point entirely. Lower exhaust gas temperatures. Removing the catalytic converter lowers exhaust gas temperatures by 100 to 200 degrees Fahrenheit. This extends turbocharger life significantly. The turbo runs cooler, oil doesn't coke as easily, and bearings last longer. On cars that see track use or frequent hard driving, this alone can double turbo lifespan. Before we continue, if you're serious about maximizing your Subaru's performance and longevity, this modification is just one piece of the puzzle. I've put together a complete 500,000 mile car maintenance blueprint that covers everything your Subaru needs to last, including modifications that actually help versus ones that hurt. The link is in the description. Grab it now while you're thinking about it, especially if you're considering any modifications. The reality: legal gray area versus complete ban. Right now, here's how the system works. Current legal status: catalytic converter deletes are technically illegal for street use under federal EPA regulations, but states control their own emissions testing. In states without emissions testing or with lax testing, people run deleted cats without consequences. Parts are legally sold as off-road use only or for racing purposes. Shops can install them if the customer signs a waiver acknowledging off-road use only. Enforcement is minimal. The EPA doesn't have the resources to chase individual vehicle owners. Post-ban legal status: manufacturing or selling parts designed to bypass emissions equipment becomes a federal crime. Shops face $10,000 plus fines per installation. Most will refuse to touch your car. Driving with deleted emissions equipment becomes a federal offense with serious penalties. Federal emissions inspections will check for OBD2, tampering, and visually inspect for missing catalytic converters. Getting caught means fines, vehicle impoundment, requirement to reinstall stock parts before registration renewal. The difference is enforcement. Right now, the EPA doesn't actively enforce. After this law passes, they will. How to do the modification before it's too late. If you want to do a catalytic converter delete on your Subaru, here's exactly what you need to do before the law passes. Step 1. Buy the parts now. You need to purchase the parts before they're banned. For most turbocharged Subarus, 2008 to 2021 WRX/STI, you need high-flow catted downpipe or catless downpipe/test pipe, gaskets hardware, popular brands, Grimspeed, NVIDIA, Cobb, Tomei cost $300 to $600 depending on brand and whether you go catless or high-flow catted. Buy now before manufacturers stop making them. Once the ban passes, existing inventory will sell out within weeks at premium prices. Step 2. Find a shop willing to install or DIY. This is the hard part. Many shops already refuse to install cat deletes. Your options: find a performance shop that specializes in Subarus and will install with a waiver. Do it yourself if you have mechanical skills and tools. Find a mobile mechanic willing to do it. DIY difficulty: moderate. Requires jack stands, basic tools, and 2 to 3 hours. The downpipe is held on by 4 bolts at the turbo and 2 bolts at the mid-pipe connection. Remove old, install new, torque to spec. The hardest part is accessing the top bolts in the tight engine bay. Step 3. Tune your ECU. This is critical. You can't just delete the cat and drive. The ECU expects oxygen sensor readings from the catalytic converter. Without it, you'll get check engine lights and run in limp mode. You need an aftermarket ECU tune that disables the rear O2 sensor monitoring, OR, and O2 sensor spacer/simulator. To trick the ECU professional tunes cost $400 to $800. O2 spacers cost $20 to $50 but are less reliable. Most people go with a professional tune from shops like Cobb, MAP, or local Subaru tuners. A proper tune doesn't just eliminate the check engine light, it also optimizes fuel delivery and ignition timing for the increased airflow, maximizing your power gains. Step 4. Understand the risks. Once you do this modification, here's what you're accepting. You won't pass emissions testing in states that require it, though you can always put the stock cat back on temporarily. You're technically violating EPA regulations even if your state doesn't test. After the federal ban, you'll be at risk if enforcement increases. Your car will be slightly louder, not obnoxiously loud, but noticeable. You'll smell exhaust fumes more than stock. Most Subaru owners who do this modification say the benefits far outweigh the risks, but you need to go in with eyes open. The alternative: high-flow catalytic converters. There's a middle ground that might survive the legislation: high-flow catalytic converters. These are aftermarket catalytic converters with less restrictive internals than stock. They provide 80% of the performance benefit of a catless downpipe full emissions compliance. You'll pass testing, less risk of being targeted by the new legislation. The catch: high-flow cats still fail eventually. They're better than stock, but not as bulletproof as a straight test pipe. If you want to stay legal and still get most of the benefits, a high-flow catted downpipe is the way to go. Brands like Grimspeed, NVIDIA, and Cobb make excellent high-flow options. Cost: $500 to $800. But you stay emissions compliant. The high-flow cats use larger cell counts and better materials than stock. They flow significantly better while still cleaning emissions effectively. For most street-driven Subarus, this is the smart choice. Why manufacturers want this banned? You might be wondering, why is this happening now? Simple: money and control. Warranty claims. When people modify their Subarus and something breaks, they sometimes try to warranty the repair. Manufacturers want to make it easier to deny warranty claims by making modifications clearly illegal. Replacement parts revenue. When your stock catalytic converter fails at 100,000 miles, Subaru sells you a replacement for $1,500 to $2,500. If you delete the cat, they lose that revenue. EPA pressure. The EPA has been cracking down on rolling coal diesel trucks and other modified vehicles. Automotive manufacturers are cooperating by supporting legislation that bans all emissions-defeating modifications to avoid their own EPA scrutiny. Subscription revenue models. New cars are moving towards subscription-based features and locked ECUs. Manufacturers want to eliminate the aftermarket modification industry entirely, so they control all vehicle features and upgrades. This isn't about the environment. Stock catalytic converters are already very effective. High-flow cats are 99% as clean as stock. This is about control and profit. The 6-month countdown. Here's the realistic timeline. Now, month 3. Parts are readily available. Shops are still installing. Business as usual. This is your best window. Parts are in stock, prices are normal, and shops aren't worried yet. Month 3 to month 5. Word spreads. Demand spikes. Parts start selling out. Prices increase. Shops get nervous, and some stop installing preemptively. If you wait until this window, you'll pay more and have fewer options. Month 5 to month 6. Legislation passes. Parts manufacturers stop production immediately to avoid penalties. Shops refuse all installations. Remaining parts sell for 2 to 3 times normal price on the secondary market. After month 6, it's over. Parts are unavailable. Shops won't touch your car. You're at risk of fines if caught. You have to decide now. Once the window closes, it's closed forever. What happens if you already have it done? If you already have a deleted catalytic converter on your Subaru, here's what you need to know. Before the ban, you're in the clear legally in most states, unless you're in California or have emissions testing. No one is actively looking for modified cars. After the ban, you're at risk if enforcement increases. Annual federal emissions inspections might require you to reinstall the stock cat. Getting caught could mean fines and registration denial. Your best option: keep your stock catalytic converter in the garage. If enforcement increases, you can always reinstall it. Many Subaru owners run catless for years and then swap the stock cat back on for emissions testing. It takes 2 to 3 hours and you're legal again. The key is having that stock part available. Don't throw it away. Store it safely so you have the option to return to stock if needed. The performance community response. The Subaru performance community is already reacting to news of this impending ban. Forums are blowing up with discussions. Parts manufacturers are seeing increased orders. Some shops are booking out weeks in advance for installs. Smart owners are buying parts now and storing them. Even if they're not ready to install yet, they're securing the parts before they become unavailable. Others are stockpiling multiple downpipes, one to use now, one as a backup for when the current one eventually fails. The secondary market is already heating up. Used catless downpipes that used to sell for $150 are now going for $300 to $400 as people anticipate the ban. The bottom line: a federal ban on catalytic converter deletes is coming within 6 months. Once it passes, you won't be able to buy the parts, shops won't install them, and enforcement will have real teeth. For turbocharged Subaru owners, cat deletes offer 15 to 25 horsepower gains, protection against catastrophic cat failure that can destroy your entire engine, lower exhaust temperatures and longer turbo life, better performance and reliability. If you want to do this modification, you need to act now. Buy the parts before they're banned and prices skyrocket. Find a shop willing to install or do it yourself. Get a proper ECU tune to avoid check engine lights and maximize gains. Keep your stock cat in case you need to reinstall it for testing or if enforcement increases. Or go with a high-flow catalytic converter as a legal middle ground that gives you most of the benefits. You have 6 months, maybe less. After that, the window closes forever. Don't wait until parts are sold out and shops refuse to work on your car. Make the decision now while you still have options. The performance modification landscape is changing. This won't be the last modification to face federal restrictions. Act now while you still can. And if you want the complete blueprint for building a reliable, long-lasting Subaru, whether modified or stock, don't forget to grab the 500,000-mile car maintenance blueprint from the link in the description. It covers everything from modifications that actually help to the maintenance that keeps your Subaru running strong for decades. Get it now before you make any major modification decisions. If you found this video helpful, be sure to watch this next video as we're sharing insider tips to help you cut repair costs and keep your car running like new.